Oh, oh, man, the weekend needs to be longer. It's Monday. Fuck, I was up way too late last night. Did I write any notes last time? Make hurt animation last longer on hit shake. Yeah. Good morning, ho. How's it going? Very happy Monday. Oh boy. Yeah, we will be doing art streams soon. Soon-ish. I even remember how to do art. It's been like 3 years. That's gonna be special, yeah. So we need some more animations and stuff. But it's still a while away. I'm gonna set everything up. So we can do basically gray box testing before that. With just placeholder animations for stuff. So after that, that's when we're gonna do some art. Because I need to make some more tiles and stuff. So we can show it off a little bit better. And that's probably also gonna need some more programming. Maybe. We'll see. So there are programming issues that need to be solved later. That are not going to be so fun, honestly, but they are entirely doable. I'll be drawing along with you badly, probably. Well, maybe you'll get better. Maybe you'll learn. Yeah, it'll be a nice change. The good thing about art, in my opinion, or for me at least, is I think I'd be able to do it a lot more than I am doing this. It's a lot more just doing it, right? Like, you do get stuck there too, but it's not like here when it's like you're just like sitting there just shaking your head, just like, what the fuck, what is happening? How do I do this? How do I progress? I don't know. Alright, so hit shake. I'm gonna lurk. Alright, sounds good, dude. Oh. I'm also gonna lurk. Right, combat. Hit shake would be in the combat module now then. Here it is. Where do we have it? Hit shake. I think maybe I'll have the hit shake here in the basic module, but just not sure when to deal with it. Direction equals math f pow minus 1f math f floor hit shake time. So basically, I don't know if this is the correct way to really handle this, but this is incorrect. What the hell am I doing there? Oh, this is meant to be some kind of null value. We need a boolean that says bool. Hit shake. Something. Hit shake active. Hit shake active equals true. Is false. But time starts at 0. So if we have a duration of 0 and a time, a duration of like 5, and the time is 0, I am doing current strength equals time divided by duration. And that means that we're going to start at maximum. Or no, we're going to start at minimum. So current strength starts at its weakest, which doesn't make any sense. So rather, this should be hit shake time equals duration. And then hit shake time 0f there. And here then we're gonna say hit shake time minus equals current logic delta time. And then we're gonna say if hit shake time is less than or equal to 0, then we cancel this. So the hit shake is supposed to just shake the character a bit. But it is a bit difficult. It's not as simple as this either, because I have to determine where it's going to be pushed, right? Because let's say that I have a character and it's being attacked. The question, there are several questions involved. So first and foremost is a pretty simple one. It's not really complicated, but how should positioning work in combat? Should it be players on the left always and enemies on the right? Or should it be attacker on the left, defender on the right? That's the first question. I don't think it really matters. However, what if there's like a neutral unit? Then what? Then you just count that as player, I guess. Put that on the left. Perhaps. And then after that, the question is, how am I supposed to handle the hit shake when I can just give it a vector and then it just shakes. Like if I give it a vector that's like 5-5, it's gonna shake because it's a positive value. It's gonna shake to the right the first frame, and then it's gonna shake to the left, or it's gonna shake to the right and up because it's 5-5, and then down to the left. But that doesn't make any sense if they're on the left and being attacked from the right, and the attack still has like a positive value. So then yeah. So what is the solution to this? I could do it on like mirrored enemies, that because when you're in combat, if you're facing to the left or whatever, you're gonna be mirrored. But I don't like doing it based on mirroring either. Because because the reality is the value is going to be positive on the hit shake. So if a mirrored object gets shaken, oh man, no. I don't even want to think about this. I think I'm gonna do it based on position. If and I think I'm gonna do it here, maybe. Hello, Vulpes. I'm tired. It's Monday. How are you doing? We can do it here. So we say vector 3 int origin. And then we need a public vector 3 int hit shake origin. And then we say hit shake origin equals origin. Still got a week of holiday? Wow. You're gonna be collecting so many rocks in that time. I was up way too late yesterday building my house. But yeah, we have the origin here then. Hit shake origin. Let's make this a nullable one. Then we can say equals null. I'm gonna do that here too. More aluminum. Yeah. I'm very I'm a little bit upset because I bought the Caladan Palace tile set, the Ultimate Edition, but the ceiling tiles are bugged. So you can barely use it. It's super tedious. It sucks so hard. I might have to just switch it out to something else. They're too thick. They have like a little knob that like hangs down in the middle. And it's so deep down that you can't fit buildings or machines under it. So stupid. Might have to switch to Harkonnen floors. Where's hit shake modifier? Why is it not here? Well, more importantly, why are these here? Hit shake modifier is all the way up here. Let's make these vectors nullable. I hate non-nulled vectors. Well, actually, the hit check modifier should not be nulled. Ever. Because I'm always using that. When I'm fetching the modified position here, we have a hit check modifier there. So it needs to be 0 if it's nothing. And here we're gonna add if hit shake time is less than 0, or if hit shake vector equals null, or hit shake origin equals null. Then we're gonna just turn the hit shake off. Oh. And then what we need to do simply, we don't actually need to handle the origin much. I don't actually even need to store the origin. Now that I think of it, all we need is to supply the origin when we init. And then we're gonna say That doesn't even need to be an int, we can just do a byte. It doesn't even need to be a byte, it could be a boolean, but I don't know how multiplying with booleans work, if it translates it to 0 and 1. But whatever. And either way, I wouldn't want it to be 0. Nah, fine, just make it an int. Why do I complicate things like that? So what we need to do is we need to say if hitshake origin, no, if origin dot x is less than or equal to modified position, then we're gonna say hitshake direction equals 1. Else hitshake direction equals -1. And then we have a direction here. And then we're gonna multiply this by hitshake direction. Right, because if the origin is lower, that means it's on the left. That means the hitshake should just be 1, which means it gets pushed to the right. Now we just need to find all of the errors here. Which here is init hitshake. And then we need to supply user dot modified position raw, I think. Oh, origin goes first. All right. I think it should work now, unless there's another error. There. Handle hitshake. Right. Now all I need to do is see, the objects have an update. That does literally nothing. And it is done here before combat update. Am I running combat update at all? No. And it's empty anyway. Feels weird. I cleaned my mug this morning and it feels weird to not to drink coffee from a mug that isn't just crusty and disgusting. So the question is the update. Where should I do things? Because the update, I think the update doesn't really matter in combat. Action module update. I think the regular update should be last. And there is a good reason for that, because here I have an action module.update, and actually I don't actually know. I think action module should be last. I think it should be like this. So combat update. I'm being a little bit stupid because I'm thinking in terms of like multi-classing the engine, allowing me to more easily modify it for like real time. Not that we're going to do that in this game, but that's partially how I'm approaching the engine as a whole, that it's going to be possible to make more than just one game in it, more than just a tactics game. Converting something into like a free roam whatever game is like, honestly super easy, but I'm still just thinking about what makes sense. Because here, the action module is actually executing actions that have been set before. The action module is a little bit questionably named, I guess. This used to be the animation module, but I've changed it to be an action module. So instead, because before I had it separated so that the logic ran separately, like in update here, and then we had an animation module that read the time of the animation, or the time of the logic as it was executing the attack or whatever. And then it was applying the correct sprite in like its own animation module. And this was kind of, I don't know, it felt clunky. So I just changed it so that instead, everything that a character can do is an action, and the action itself just does its logic, and then it sets the sprite inside. So the entire game is just built up on what I'm calling actions. Being idle is one action. Walking is an action, so it just sets it to that. But what this means is that if we're doing free roam, for example, we have to run update first, because we have to check for button inputs. We have to see, like, are we in a scenario where we can walk? Yes, no. And in that case, then we set it to the walk action, and then the action module update comes after that. And here, the combat update comes here. Now, I'm not actually running a combat update inside of objects right now. And I'm not sure if I will need to. But if I do, that should come before the normal update, because the normal update is like the exploration mode update, I guess. So we have to know if we're doing something in combat before I can allow the player to input a move command. So yeah. That being said, I have deleted the movement code, or it's commented. I still have it here somewhere, but would have to re-implement that. But for now, it's not important. Because what matters right now is the combat. Did it taste weird at the bottom? I don't know. I forgot what I was doing. Right. Update. I think we do that, and then we need to go to combat update here. And then if exit phase, or temporary action does not equal null, or combat sequence objects I dot hit shake active It's private. There we go. And then I don't know if I really want why does the volume feel so high today? Like it's lower than I usually have it, and it just feels high. I don't know. What was I thinking? Right, so we have actions, right? We have a module database here. Action database. Ria hit shake. No, it's called hurt. Ria combat. She doesn't have her hurt action yet. Spearman has a hurt though. Like that. And then here we have handle combat hurt action. And what I want to do here is if user dot hit shake active is false, then we'll run progress time. Let's see what happens with that. Let's see if this runs at all. Oh, it works! It actually just works. Another question is just tweaking the hit shake values. But I'll be right back. I want more coffee. Right, let's take a look here. So here we have a hit shake. The hit shake has a duration of 2 and a vector of 1. So that doesn't seem very right. Set this to a vector of 2 and that to 3. This is gonna take some tweaking because I think even right now it's not gonna behave the way I envisioned it to, but it might be okay anyway. So here the hit shake has a strength, which I don't really know what the fuck that's supposed to be. Oh yeah, that's the damage. This is the hit. This is the hit shake. The hit shake is just a duration and a vector. Let's just test that, see what happens. It was a bit minuscule. I'd say it's just a question of like, should the duration be the same as the strength or should it be twice? And does it even make sense? Still feels kind of weak. Also, I think it's really hard to tell. I actually can't tell if it's being pushed in the right direction. Hello, Leeds Scalnion, how's it going? Let's try making the duration be twice. think that's much better. Right, when they die, they remain. Ooh, that's tricky. Ooh, how do we fix that? The way this works is that if you're standing below another character, that means you render after that character, which means you will be visually like in front, right? But for left and right, there has to be a similar method. So if you're further on the left, you're going to be rendered in front. But if you're on the right, you're going to be rendered as you're behind. And the issue there was that when the Nefir Spearman died, he's lying on the ground, but Rhea, who is standing on the right side of him, and he becomes wider because he has to be lying down. So he's going to take up more space no matter what. Because she goes on the right side of him as he's down, she looks like she is standing behind a character that's lying flat on the ground. And that means that we have to do something like this. So object data module database. Here we have a sorting layer. And the sorting layer, this dot sorting layer equals sorting layer. Sorting order index. See here, this is where it is read from. Sorting order index. Yeah. Is determined by a little math formula here, plus an index thing. So basically I have 9 layers, I think, if it's not 10. With 0, I think it might be 10. So there's like... there are 3 effect layers. There's an effect layer, an effect foreground, effect background. And that's so that you can put effects in front or behind each other too. And then there's the object sorting layer, I think, and then there's like a background sorting layer. And these exist if they're on like the same pixel. That's when the sorting layer works. So it's basically like your X position plus your Y position plus 9 minus the current sorting layer that you're on. Which is, I don't know if that's a very good way of doing this. It might be kind of stupid. But what we need, I guess, is sorting layer override. And we need to say something like maybe how does that work? Sorting layer. That's not my sorting layer. LOT sorting layer. This is why I partially kind of hate working in Unity, because you can't name things. Like if you write things a bit more from scratch, you can't name things, because it's just gonna be some fucking bullshit. Like if I name something sorting layer, it's like, no, that's a Unity function already. Too bad. Can't do that. Can an enum be null? No. But we can make it null. And if I can make it null, that kind of removes the need for this. So then here what we need to do is we need to say sorting layer index equals int layer equals if sorting layer override does not equal null, then sorting layer override dot value dot whatever else int data module dot value dot sorting layer. This also needs to be like that. And we then need I was sure I had a function that just killed an object already. Kill. Yes. So then dead equals true. Then we should also set override sorting layer should be set to background. And also base object dot set act dot action module dot set action by index anim index no action index dot death. And then we go to is it here in the combat module? It's apply damage. If killing below, this is gonna be kill. Let's try now. However, I kind of don't think my sorting layer solution actually works. Because it's just based on the current pixel they're standing on. So it's tanky as fuck. So now she's standing on his corpse. And now she is not. So yes, this solution does not work. Ba 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 ba. So what solution should I use here? I feel like the way this should work is that you have I'm just worried this is gonna not work easily. But basically, the layers should work more like... Oh, I don't know. Because one way of doing it, a classic way of doing it, is to just render them in the order of the layering, right? So you, if you have a background layer, you have a unit layer, you have a foreground layer, you then just render them in that order. You render every background object, you render every object after that, and then you render every foreground object after that. But it's not that easy. Because if I make an effect be like a foreground object, and I make it strike Ria, and I have another character that's standing here and taking up like even just overlapping her feet with its head, then if like a lightning bolt strikes here, it's gonna render in front of his head. And that's wrong. So and this here, I need to be able to stand here. Without Ria being drawn behind. Hello Grog, how's it going? So what is the solution to this? I have one idea actually. Kind of. But I don't know if that's good either. Right now, This is being done by... Hello, Jano. How's it going? The formula is x plus y times the size of x, where x is the size of the map, plus 9 minus sorting layer. And what that means is that we're kind of adding I don't have space. So what's really strange here is that this first section, this is just the position in the world. This is how you make a one-dimensional value that represents a two-dimensional position. And what's happening is that if I just do that and then I add 9 minus the sorting layer, it's actually just shifting me over to another x value, kind of. So in reality, what this needs is x temp needs to be multiplied by the amount of layers I have. Kind of. But I don't know if I want it to be the X or the Y. Because what I'm worried about here is that this value very easily becomes huge. And Y is... No, it's already... It is already factored for. X temp is multiplied by 10 up here. I am taking it into account already. Fuck me. But it shouldn't be plus then. It shouldn't be plus 9. It should just be minus sorting layer. Like this. Grog have idea, but is very extremely techno-barbarian, and Grog not programmer, so Grog no, but Grog suspect would add lot of complexity to code. What is Grog idea? But I feel like this should not be the... It's not the x value that should be multiplied. It's the y value. But... dominant recessive genes? In what scenario? Like, for what? Each object take up multiple squares? Yes? Yes. Rug not smart? I mean, you were going somewhere. Where was it going? Grug started thinking of rocks. Maybe Grug will find his thoughts again. We'll see. Because the issue here is that if a character is standing here and another character is standing here, then the multiplying or affecting the x value doesn't matter. So the layer only works if they're standing on the same pixel, which isn't really very good. If divide each square that object take up into dominant and recessive and assign each value for background /background role. No. The issue is just that they need understanding the problem is very hard when it's someone else's code, but basically We got this guy. And we got Rio there. Something along those lines. What's happening is that as long as Ria is on the left side of this character, she is going to be behind, like this, right? But if she moves over to the right, she will immediately be in front. That's just how it works, because there needs to be some kind of order, and that's how it is. And if she moves 1 pixel up, she then counts as being behind, no matter what. So. And this might be even more of a problem when there are like larger units and stuff, so it's a little tricky, but I think it'll be fine. But the issue is that I need to have some kind of math that makes sense for how to handle this. Because they need to be... Like, let's say... I don't know if I have a... Let's say we have a dead soldier here. He just looks like that. He's dead. Right? But even when he's dead, he still has a position. And that position is like here somewhere, maybe. Right? So he's lying here. And then Ria comes along. She's walking on top of him. Because they're on the same Y. And as long as she's on the left of him... Oh my fucking god, what's wrong with this? So as long as she's... Stop. As long as she's standing on the exact same Y value, as long as she's on the left, she's going to be on top of him. But if she's on the right, again, she's going to go behind. And in my current system, what I'm doing is basically... Let me find another placeholder thing. Yeah, this one looks like shit. Oh. Grab the lightning strike. So if we target, let's say this character with this lightning strike. So I have a bunch of different layers that I can assign characters to. Background, object, foreground. And that helps you sort the object. But what it's really just doing is it's adding like a value. Because the sorting order index is just like a number from 0 to a million. And the lower your value is, the earlier you're going to be rendered. So what my sorting layer is doing is it's just subtracting value from it, so that if you're both standing on the exact same pixel, the lower, like the background layer, just has a lower number, and then that gets rendered before the other one. But this only works if they're standing on the exact same pixel, which is kind of not that useful. And one solution to this is to like hard render things in an order. So you first render background, then object, then foreground. But the issue with that is if I make this effect be a foreground object, then if Ria is standing here with her head here, and this lightning bolt just renders last, then it's going to render above her head when she's standing here. So that doesn't work that well. But there is I do think every object has X and Y value. Contrast X and Y value and higher one foreground. Lower means foreground. But I think I have to do something like this. So this is actually kind of difficult math. But basically, let's say we have a map that's 100 times 1000 maybe, or 100 times 200 in size. What that means is that if we just say that this is in pixels, that means that every pixel is a potential sorting index. And what you do is you take 100 times 200. What is that? That is 20,000. So we have 20,000 potential positions that we can be standing in, right? And the way you figure out where you're standing is you have the X position, which is just your X, plus Y position times Y size. So this up here, this is X size, and this is Y size. So, no, dot X size. So, as you're moving your character in X, it goes up +1, +1, +1, -1, -1, -1, right? But if you move in the Y-axis, you move 1 up, it's actually moving the entire size, the width of the map, because that's how it has to be represented. But, and I have done this before, if x1 minus x2 is less than 0, then x1 foreground value equals true. That's kind of what I'm doing. The most basic way of implementing this is something called Y sorting, where you literally just compare the Y value. So if your Y is less than something else's, then you are rendered later, because later means in front. And that's what I'm doing, except that I'm also taking the X position into account as well. So I'm really checking where they're standing, and then I assign an index value based on where they're standing. So if they're standing higher up on the map, they have a higher index. And the further down, they have a lower index. And the lower your index, the later you are rendered. Because again, everything is rendered back to front. So the lower your index, the later you'll be rendered, and you'll be rendered in front of everything else. But the problem is that we need to add in layers here, because otherwise I won't be able to like stand on top of an object unless my Y value is in front. You know, I won't be able to have objects behind or whatever. So right now I have background. I have 3 backgrounds. I have background. Now what are they? They actually have real names. This is what they're called. Background, background detail, background effect, object, object detail, object effect, foreground, foreground detail, foreground effect. And the reason these exist, the foreground kind of like doesn't necessarily need to exist, but it's like a dead character would be background, and an effect like a lightning strike might have a part of it that needs to be rendered behind the character, and that needs to have its own layer so that it can render behind the character but on top of something that's dead on the ground. But my math is just not correct. I don't know if this is a math solution. I don't know if this needs to be even more complicated. I also don't know if it should be pixel based or if it should be tile based. Pixel based, like the only difference really is, are my values gonna be like massive? Because let's say that I have a map that's 1000 tiles wide. 1000 times 24 is 24,000. That's one tile is 24 pixels wide, right? And if each tile, if each X has like bunch of different layers within itself, that means that each X is actually 10 X's, right? And so now we have 24,000 pixels there. And what this means is that in order to, or 240,000. So in order to sort this, we'd have to multiply this by 18,000. If we assume that the Y does not contain has any kind of like layering added to it. So now we're at 4 billion, right? And what is the max value? int32 max value. And int32 has a max value of 2 billion. If it's a uint, it can be 4 point something billion. So we're already past the size of an int32. But I am using an int64, which does have a quite significant range. But I also have to add in the fact that we use Z as well. And that's going to be another 58,000. No, what am I saying? 50. What is 50 times 50 times 18? Times 43200000000. So then we're at 3 trillion. which I guess is doable. Because we have, that's 4 sets of zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 sets of zeros. If x minus 2 less than 0, and if y minus 1, then object 1 foreground value equals true. Yeah, that, I mean, that is how I'm doing it right now. But in addition to that, there needs to be some kind of extra value that lets me render 2 objects that have the same x and y, like in different layers anyway. And that's where I'm not really sure. Because it's really tricky. No, I want it to be more... It should just work. Like, I shouldn't... At most, I should have to set which layer the object belongs to, and then the math should handle the rest. So... the issue is that as Ria is walking over this corpse, she should never end up behind it, right? And the solution to that then would be that objects that count as background objects simply all render first, no matter what, right? But that's not always true either. Because, for example, a lightning strike might look something like this. Let's just go with that. Whatever. Then there might be another part of it that's here that goes behind like that. I guess both of these could be background. The problem isn't making things render behind or in front of each other. The problem is solving all of the shitty edge cases that arise with problems. Like something rendering like below something that it should be in front of. I'm just thinking. Maybe it's okay. I think it has to be something like this. It needs to be divided into 3. So the background layer starts at 0. And the object layer starts at x size times y size times z size, right? That's where object starts. Kind of. Not exactly. That's where we start. And then foreground needs to be this times 2. However, we also need to have internal space. And that's going to mean multiplying the y, I think. So y size needs to be multiplied by 3 to make room for each sublayer. And then this needs to be y size mod. And then basically the formula is gonna be x plus y times x size actually this is x size is going to be x size mod. I think. Because then y is going to be y times x size mod. Minus layer, which is then going to be 0, 1, or 2. Welcome back, Grug. Grug didn't miss much. I'm just planning. No, this is does it need to be like that? I think we can just say y times 3 minus layer modulo 3. I think. Modulo 3 means we have 0, 1, 2, right? Let's go up to 3. C# modulo. Wait, can modulo ever be 0? Oh, it should be. Yeah. So modulo... It would be modulo 2. Because you would have... You would have 0, 1, 2. I don't know. I don't fucking know, man. I would need to just test this. C# code tester. Int test1 equals 3 modulo 2. Console.writeLine test1 to string. Run. No, fucker. He deleted it. Press the wrong run button. Int test1 equals 3 modulo 3 modulo, and let's go with that. Console.writeLine test1.toString. Run it. So okay, 3 modulo 3 is 0. So this would be modulo 3. Yeah. But this would be incorrect too. This would be 3 minus. Oh my god. Oh, math. Ba 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 ba. Brain completely shutting down. Why am I multiplying it by 10 if I have 9 layers? Oh, I am doing this by tile. Oh. Wait, no. Wait, what the fuck am I doing? This doesn't make any sense. Pixel position times tile size times 10. I must have been so tired when I wrote this. What the fuck is happening here? Or maybe this was something different before. Because this does not make any sense. Alright, so... I think that's all x needs to be. And then we need x size temp equals uint main controller dot map size dot x times settings variables dot tile size x. I think this is where we should multiply it by 9. And then uint y size temp. Uint main controller dot map size. This is now x size temp times main controller dot map size dot y. Which isn't really used right now, but it needs to be used later. And then uint ytemp equals uint pixel position dot y. And this is where things become complicated. Times 3. Minus sorting layer data module dot value dot sorting layer modulo 3. And that needs to be 3 minus that. No, it's still not right. Uint base layer equals data module dot value dot sorting layer. This actually needs to come after. This needs to be divided by 3. Because that's gonna mean that as long as we are on background, that's 0, 1, 2. If any of these are divided by 3, the resulting value is 0. Once we get to object, which is 3, we divide that by 3. That's 1. Up to 4, that's 1. Foreground is 6 to 8. These divided by 3 is 2. Right. So we need that. And then we need to multiply that by x size temp and y size. For now. It should actually contain z too. And then the sorting order index should be base layer plus some shit. We also need to say uint sorting layer temp equals. Oh, it should be this. There's a uint as well. That it? No, it's not quite there yet. I think, or no, maybe it is. I'm not so sure. We can try. See what happens. She can be behind. That's good. Now he's dead. Now she's standing on top. Now she's standing below. Didn't work. I think serializing a nullable variable is kind of stupid, because that's going to make it not null. But also I need to make this character have way less health. He's like omega tanky. I actually don't know if I can even read it, so we'll find out. No. Let's try that. Sorting background. He now counts as background, officially. We're still being rendered behind him. That's fucking weird. Why would you be rendered behind him if I'm doing it like this? That doesn't make any sense. I'll be right back. They are both on background. How does that happen? But that's the sorting. That's the sorting layer. Yeah, that's the sorting layer override. Is it being set to background? That doesn't even make any sense. Play current action death. Sure. I'm super confused. Why is this set to background and why can it not be changed? Can sorting layers not be changed like this? I mean, an enum can be... What? Why is the enum being a bitch? Like, it's not being set or anything. It's literally just being a bitch. Like, override sorting layer to background. This is literally only called here. So why would override be set to that? Unless... Okay, yeah, I know why. I know why. Kind of. I kind of partially know why. So sorting layer override is not actually initialized to anything. It should be initialized to foreground, because I kind of set foreground to be the null right now. What does it say now? Now it says sorting layer foreground. Okay. Maybe now we can see if it works. Because what was happening was that sorting layer override was not initialized to anything, so it got set to 0. And 0 is obviously background in this case. So they were just both set to background. So when we killed this guy and he got set to background, he was just set to the layer he was already on. So now when I'm standing on his face, I'm still behind! What? He's now set to background. He's set to background, but he's... Sorting is weird. Oh, I know. Override sorting layer. This needs to call update sorting index. It's not updating it. Now I'm standing on his head. Now I am standing on top of him. Thank you. I think maybe that'll work. Maybe. So basically what I did is I kind of did implement a hard ordering so that everything that's on a background layer is rendered first, then everything in an object layer is rendered, and then everything in a foreground layer. So basically spells and stuff need to not use the foreground layer. The foreground layer would be very, very rarely used. That would be something I put on the screen as like some kind of special effect that goes just over everything, like a cloud or something. That's what a foreground effect would be. Otherwise, it needs to go in object effect. We'll have to see if that works. That's gonna be a while. I'm gonna have to re-implement like some spells for that. And the spells do not work right now, I think. I would be very surprised if barrier works, because I think I never got it to work. No, I did get it to work for like a second. No, it crashed. Very strange thing to crash on. But I guess. Anyway, I'm gonna go on a little break. Let's see if there's anything at the store I need to buy today. I hate the fucking economy. Holy shit. Everything is so expensive now. Yep, they're selling milk. Two for $4. Oh my fucking god. But that's about it. I don't feel like going to the store today. I don't want to go outside. I don't want to work. I don't want to be awake. Oh. Oh. I want to go to bed. Is this what your employer wants to see live on your stream? This is every employer's dream. Hello, Kyle. Oh. I want candy and pierogies and pizzas. A pear. Ice cream. Sandwich. I didn't eat dinner last night. I didn't eat anything yesterday. I only had 3 cups of coffee with butter in them. I'm still not hungry. I could probably go all day today without eating by just having like another cup of butter coffee. I don't believe in calories. I eat like 800 calories a day. My daily intake is roughly 800 calories to 1,000 maybe, if we're lucky. That's the sleepy zone for me. That's because calories aren't real. They're not an actual thing. I'm not even more tired than usual. I'm tired because I played video games until 3 a.m. How are they not real? Calories are actually not real. Calories are a measurement of how much energy you extract from something when you burn it. And that's not how the body uses food. The only reason calories exist and work is because calories are used as like an abstract measurement for an average carbohydrate-based diet. The second you stop eating a typical, like, standard diet that they're expecting you to eat at the hospital, it doesn't work anymore. So, because I only eat meat and fat, I can survive for 2 days on like 1,000 calories, and it's not gonna make me sick or anything like that, because calories aren't like an actual measurement. It's just like a way they've found to like measure something for the public that kind of works, but it's not real. It's because what should I measure if I want to drop 25 pounds of fat and get shredded? You can't really measure. Like, being in a calorie deficit works, but then you're starving yourself and you feel like shit all the time. But what keeps you fat, what keeps fat on your body, is insulin. And insulin, you get insulin spikes by eating carbohydrates. So if you are eating food that's like 70-80% carbohydrates and like a little bit of meat and fat on that, you're going to just have shitloads of insulin in your body, and that's why you are gaining fat. It doesn't have to do with the... It doesn't have anything to do with like the energy or anything in the food at all. It only has to do with how much insulin you generate with what you eat. So if you eat only butter, as much butter as you can until you vomit, you will lose more fat than if you are eating a calorie deficient diet, even though you're only consuming fat, because it's not going to elevate your insulin in the same way. And there's also a factor of, if you eat fat and carbohydrates together, they result in an extra elevated and extra long insulin spike. And that's why eating like hamburgers or eating out at restaurants, like eating fat food at McDonald's or whatever, like French fries, for example, are very fat, and it's also very high in carbs because potatoes are starches. That's why it will give you the ultimate insulin spike, and that's why it will make you fat. But otherwise, like a hamburger is only unhealthy because it has bread, right? Like if you remove the bread, a hamburger is actually one of the healthiest things you can eat. But the fact that the bread is there, it creates this combo with fat and carbohydrates that gives you increased and elevated insulin. So that's why eating low carb is the best way. Like, a keto diet is the best way to lose weight, because you will never be, you won't be starving. Like, you can eat as much as you want every day on a keto diet, as long as you don't exceed like 20 to 50 grams of carbs. You will not be starving ever. You will in fact probably struggle to eat more. Like, some days I struggle to eat because I'm still full from last time I ate, like yesterday, and I eat once a day only, except for like coffee with butter in it. And I'm still like I haven't eaten since Saturday, and I'm not hungry. I could eat, but I'm not really hungry. And fat isn't dangerous either. Like, that's a total myth. Fat, the reason people say fat is dangerous is because the average person eats like 80% carbohydrates. And in that scenario, fat is dangerous. But it's because of the carbs and the glucose, not because of the fat. The body, out of every substance that you can consume, the body is the most proficient in safely transporting and handling fat. The reason you get like bad cholesterol is because you are eating carbs, so you have elevated glucose in your body or in your blood, and that damages the lipids, I think it's called, that are transporting the fat. And when those become damaged, they can slip outside of the bloodstream and get stuck. So that's why people say, like, don't eat fat, because it is the fat that is causing you to, or it is the fat that's actually getting clogged in your arteries, but it's because of the carbs that it is getting clogged. Otherwise, your body absorbs the fat that it needs, and everything else it just shits out. So when you're on a carbohydrate, or when you're on a keto diet, the best way to know if you're eating too little fat is if you are constipated. Fat is like 10 times better than any fiber for pooping. But yeah, I have tried eating carb or calorie deficient before. It barely works. You barely lose any weight at all, and you feel like shit the whole time. But going on a keto diet, I feel fine. Like, the only thing there is like I crave sugar. And the more you go without eating any carbs, the less you have that craving until it disappears like entirely. But it's really fucking hard to get past it. It's literally like having a cocaine addiction. Getting past it is so difficult. Like, I still struggle. But I've lost. Last time I was like properly on keto, I lost 25 kilos on that. Otherwise, doing like calorie deficient, I've lost maybe 5 maximum, struggling for ages. And now I'm down 10. Like, I gained back all of it because I started eating chocolate cakes every single day. But yeah, the main struggle of going on keto is that you do get sugar withdrawals. And that can lead to very intense and very, very extended headaches that can last for like literally 2 weeks until it goes away the first time. Which is very unfortunate. But you can also try to just like reduce how much carbs you eat. Yeah, no, it's terrible. It's and especially if you have like any kind of stress in your life, it becomes 10 times harder because you use carbs as a way of handling stress. It's a stress handler. Both like the actual carbs and glucose is a way to handle stress for the body, but it's also, you know, like a ritual to eat an ice cream or something. That's my view on it anyway. Like when it comes to food science, there's no actual good science. So you kind of have to figure it out on your own. I do think there's more keto science coming out, but like otherwise, when it comes to like the hospital or dietitians or whatever, they're literally like 70, 60, 50 years behind. Because it takes so long for shit to change and update. So those are useless in my opinion. But yeah, going keto has helped me in like so many different ways. But I should go on a little break, go for a walk. Which is, I overworked over break time, so now when I go on a break, I'm gonna come back and then we're gonna stream for like another 30 minutes, and then that's gonna be it. But we'll do that. I'm gonna go on a little jog. I'll be right back. Oh! 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 Holy shit. Oh my god. Running is hard. Where am I? Do you think I'll be able to recover to be able to do something? No, I don't have 2 more hours. I actually need to do something else before for a meeting. I have like 30 minutes. We were doing the background stuff. With the sorting stuff. I implemented hit shake. Made animations last longer based on it. We've implemented killing blow. Oh, Yin Yang, how's it going? Done or abandoned? Just fixing my list of issues. This is done or abandoned. In order to learn a zig? What's a zig? Move zig. Take off every zig. You know what you're doing. Take off every zig. Move zig. You have to be 30 years old to understand the reference. I think this is done. Zig is a language I'm planning to make a game with. Alright, never heard of it. Rug, go trade cave with mother. Oh, no, you go trade cave. Okay, I understand. Take care, Grug. This isn't quite... This is... I don't know. I'll leave that there. This is done. That's not done. Not done. Not done. Not done. Done. This is done or abandoned, I think. No, not exactly. Let's keep that there. Ooh. Neighbor's stupid dog is at it again. The language trying to improve on C. Yeah. I mean, that's up to you if you want to try that. I did try Rust. I did not like it. And also, I don't like the community. But I also feel like any reason to like move off C languages has to be like extremely specific. Because I don't really feel like there's much reason to do that for almost anyone. I forgot everything. I don't know what I was doing. The spell crashes. Is that what we want to do now? We're gonna go into the spell. No, it's gonna need to do something. That's too much. What other animations are we missing? Item. Let's see. Action. Database. Ria Combat. Steel Duel. Item. Working on a chess maker using CLI as an interface. After that, gonna do graphics. Should hopefully teach me the language. Probably, yeah. It usually doesn't take that much to learn a language. Especially not if it's similar to C. That was the issue with Rust. Rust is made by someone whose brain works the complete opposite of whoever made Rust, or whoever made C. So like getting into Rust was a complete nightmare. We do have an item. No, handle combat. Holy shit. Was there one already? Yeah, there it is. He does have death. My brain was completely obliterated by that jog. Jesus Christ. Action length here should be all of these together. I think this one is going to be a little bit tricky. I'm a little too brain dead right now to actually solve this. Because I don't remember. Oh. Should probably eat something. Going running on 48 hours of only coffee. It's probably not that good. But basically what this animation needs to do is it's a 3-part animation, right? So it needs to play the startup, and once the startup is finished, it transitions into the loop, and then it loops. And once it's done looping, then it transitions into the finish. However, the thing is, at some point in here, the animation or the spell should also start casting. I don't know if that should be after the finish is entirely done and it just reports back finished casting, or if it should be at a certain point in the cast animation, which I think it should be. I don't think it should be when it's done. I think it should be at a point. And then how do I do that in that case? It needs to just talk to something and say, okay, trigger now. And then we have something here called loop. Loop equals true. No, loop equals false. And then we're gonna say, handle combat casting. This is gonna have some special functions here. It's gonna say if action time index is greater than action length, but it shouldn't be action length, it should be animation list 0 dot animation length. Then we're gonna say user no. Current animation. No. How does this work? Current animation index. That's how we do it. Current animation index plus equals 1. No, set it to 1. And then we're gonna say action time index equals equals action time index minus animation list 0 dot animation length. Maybe a set sprite again here. Or maybe not. And then here we set loop equals true. So that's not necessarily true either, because it's not certain that we want to loop. We actually have to read as an ability here. We basically have to do if user.action combat module action to trigger dot past time is greater than 0, then loop equals true. Else loop equals false. And then we have to do the same thing again, pretty much. But then we have to say if action time index, if animation length, no, if action time index is greater than one, we also have to check if current animation index equals 1. Here it's 0. See, here I'm not sure. Should the casting animation be a temp action? I don't think so. But if it's not a temp action, that means I have to set the animation back to combat idle. Specifically. Because I don't remember what the last action that was playing is. Unless I'd make it be a temp action. But it could maybe be a temp action, I guess. The reason for that could be like, what if there are special idle animations, like for being poisoned or bloody or low health or something like that. And in that case, I would need to remember what the default action was. But that's just a bit of extra programming here. It could literally just read the state here. Or it could store the index for the idle action, like what's the default idle action right now, or it could also be there's so many solutions to this. Let's just do this for now until we need to do something else. Fix and finish implementing casting animations and spell casting. That's the next step. I think we'll stop there. I'm gonna go and eat some burgers and do some stuff that I have to do. Then we're gonna have a meeting, and tonight we're gonna play more Dune. If you were surprised. We did solve a bunch of problems today. I think it was a good day. For a Monday. For a Monday where I stayed up until 3 a.m. It was a good day. TBH. Anyway, until later. Yeah, we'll build houses for sure. Have a good day. Bye-bye.